We are 4 games into the 2021 NBA Finals, and honestly, I have been loving it. I went to Game 3, I was actually in the arena for that one, and I talked about my experience of that over on my second channel, so go check that out if you have not already. But I enjoyed Game 4 nearly as much because it was that good of a game. And yet, in spite of this, the discourse around this Finals has been pretty damn negative. To the point where it's nearly made me question, wait, does this suck and I just haven't realized it? Like, am I the one who's wrong here? But actually, no, it turns out all of you people are wrong about this. I've come to the conclusion that the people who are acting like this is one of the worst finals in years, if not the worst, as I have seen said multiple times now over Twitter, are just a bunch of big dumb idiots having big dumb idiot thoughts. So, let me tell you why I think this. Before I continue on with this video, about half of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, so if you fall into that 50%, then please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 200K on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Also, drop a like on this video, only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference. Also, real quick, I have to mention the trailer that I dropped for the Two Faces of Greg Popovich, which is my next big deep dive. It's about 45 minutes long. It is probably going to be the best video that I released, at least to this point. I think it's better than the Kobe video. That is available now on Patreon. So if you want to go pay just a slight amount of money to get it like a week or 2 early from when it's actually going to be released, then you can do that. But with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. There's really one major reason why there is such a large outcry against this year's finals matchup, and that has to be the lack of a narrative surrounding it. Now, I will admit that narratives are a lot of fun. That's probably where I get like half of my enjoyment of the NBA. I've described this to people who don't understand the NBA that while yes, I obviously love basketball, I also love how much drama there is. I love trades, I love free agency, I love all the narratives. What does this mean for this player's legacy? All that kind of stuff. It's drama, and I'm not one of those people who pretend to not enjoy drama, because everybody does, just some people act like they don't. I really love stories and storytelling and narratives. It's why I have a film channel. It's why I love movies so much, and it's why I have so many videos that focus on those narratives. I'm not pretending to be above that, because I'm not. However, some people only watch the game for narratives, it seems. I don't need a LeBron James legacy narrative or a Steph Curry Finals MVP narrative or whatever the fuck to enjoy a basketball game and a finals game. I don't need that. It's a nice added flavor. It's a nice thing to give extra weight to what we're seeing, but it is not the end all be all to me. And I would hope most people, but I guess that's not really the case, because this year's finals is definitely pretty much without narrative, at least not in an all-time legacy thing, even though it is the finals. Like, if Giannis and the Bucks lose, it's not like his legacy is tarnished. He's like 25 years old or 26. He's still got plenty of time. Chris Paul, like, we all kind of already have our opinion on Chris Paul. A championship is not going to massively boost his legacy. So I don't think there's that much narrative this year. There's some stuff, of course, that's always naturally going to happen, but it's not as large and bombastic as it has been in the past couple of years, especially with a figure as controversial as LeBron James. And the reason I have to mention LeBron James and also Steph Curry is that this is the first finals that has not involved one of those two players since Kobe was last in the finals. So it's been a fucking while. Now, I'll say, it's a little weird to not have LeBron in the finals, because my first finals was 2013. He has been in the finals every single year, besides for 2019, that I have been an NBA fan. So to me, I just associate the NBA Finals with LeBron James. And for many other people in my age group, they make that same association. And by my age group, I mean people who are in their early 20s to late teens, not 40, because I am 21 years old. Fuck you. So I understand from that standpoint, and I would actually agree that this Finals almost doesn't feel like the Finals because my idea of the Finals just is LeBron James. Back in 2019, when it was the Warriors versus Raptors, I was like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. I'm used to seeing LeBron in the finals. It was still great, but it was weird. But regardless of that, I can eventually pull out of that feeling and realize that while that is kind of my idea of it, that's not actually what the finals is. So it's just like a mental adjustment that I think a lot of people are just refusing to make. And that's why we're seeing this quite often. But I just have to say that at least for me, and I would hope for most people, the first thing that comes to mind, first and foremost, is good basketball. I care much more about an actual good basketball series than I care about a narrative being pushed. I absolutely fucking love this finals matchup because these are the two teams that I hoped would come out of their conference. I was hoping for a Suns-Bucks finals, and that's exactly what we got. A little bit of a rocky road to get there, but still exactly what I wanted. Now, I did like the Nuggets more than the Suns, but at the same time, I kind of expected the Suns to be a better team. So I was more so rooting for them, but also I love the Nuggets. So it was like that series. I was still rooting for the Nuggets, but you get what I mean. But just from a basketball standpoint, we get two pretty drastically clashing styles of basketball. We have the brute force of the Bucks and Giannis, and then we have the more methodical perimeter play of the Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul's playmaking, Devin Booker's mid-range game, DeAndre Ayton rolls, the shooting on the perimeter. It's just a nice clash of play style. While there are, of course, similarities, it's not just like the same type of team facing off. We get to see, hey, is a big man the way to go, or is guard play the way to go? It's almost like we get to compare and contrast as the series progresses. Now, I am rooting for the Bucks because Giannis is tied for my third favorite player in the league with Luka Doncic. Ahead of him is Zach LaVine at 1, and then this guy. But at the same time, if the Bucks end up losing, I won't be mad because I really like this Suns team as well. In order of teams that I like the most, well, actually, I was going to put the Bulls as number 1. I actually like them the least. But in order of teams that I'm rooting for, I guess, it would be the Bulls number 1, tragically, then the Nuggets, then the Bucks, then the Suns. So 2 teams that I really like in my top 4 favorite teams to watch are in the finals right now. I'm pretty fucking happy with that. But if the Bucks lose, I'm cool with that because Chris Paul, who is one of my favorite players, gets a championship. Now, I don't know why it's so controversial to like Chris Paul. I guess it's just because of the flopping, but I don't really get too mad at the players for that personally. I don't care about that. I'm happy to see Chris Paul win a championship if that ends up happening. So for me, this series is a win-win. It's good basketball. It's players that I like. I don't see the fucking problem. And a lot of people seem to disagree. Another thing this year has to be injuries. That's fair. I understand that. But at the same time, this actual matchup, whether or not these teams should have been here or not, or would have been without injury, I think the Clippers win the conference finals if not for injury, and I think the Nets win the second round against the Bucks if not for injury. So we probably should have a Clippers-Nets finals right now, and I understand how that could take away from the enjoyment of this for some people. But at the same time, this actual matchup, unless you're a Nets or Clippers fan, at the end of the day, I wouldn't really have much issue getting over that because these are two teams that are relatively healthy against each other. Dario Saric just tore his ACL in, I believe, game 1, and Dante DiVincenzo is not playing for the Bucks, and I think that's a bigger deal than some people are making it out to be because he's just one solid rotation guard wing-ish player that you can rely upon, and you can tell from the Bucks, especially when they're going small, their rotation is a little bit short. I definitely rather have Dante DiVincenzo in there than Pat Connaughton, but at the end of the day, these teams are mostly healthy, and their key players, their top three on both teams, are definitely healthy. Although Drew Holiday, it's sometimes questionable if he's really a top three player on this team, because God has he sucked in the finals. Ultimately, though, these complaints and the suggestion this is the worst finals in years, to me, really suggest that a lot of people don't actually like basketball that much, and they're much more here for the narratives. To me, it's like 50-50, but I think this argument is really showcasing just how large a portion of the population it's all about LeBron, or the narratives around him, or the Warriors and the narratives around him, around them, or whatever it may be. It's about that more so than it is actual on-the-floor basketball. And I think that is a very casual mindset, which is fine if that's how you view basketball. But to me, I just gotta say, if that's not how you look at the game, there is no reason to not absolutely love this finals matchup. Suggesting this is the worst finals in years is absolutely insane to me. At the end of the day, it's all opinion. But if you watch the 2014 finals, which is very recent in history, just 7 years, then that was definitely worse than this. 2015 could have been better. If we're going really far back, 2007 was a garbage finals. There's definitely worse examples than this year's finals. I'm quite happy with this matchup, and as the next couple of games come along, I'm pretty confident this could very well end up being one of the better finals of all time, because Game 4 was really exciting, and I think the rest of the games throughout are going to be relatively close. Hopefully I didn't end up jinxing it. Anyways, that's my thought on this discourse around the finals not being good. I just heavily disagree. I'm not angry about it, because I get it. It just comes down to what you enjoy about basketball, but to me, definitely not the worst finals. It's a pretty damn good matchup, actually. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music. I forgot to shout out Rudy. Also, check out Rudy St. Clair. His channel is linked in the description, I'm pretty sure. Okay, bye-bye.